This is Francis from Easel. Today we're going to be talking through how to navigate around the Easel Canvas space and just some kind of basics of what that looks like and where to go to do certain things and kind of just a basic overview of the space. So we'll start when you create a new project, this is where you'll be brought. All Easel projects default to 12 by 8 by half an inch thick. And you'll have your design side here and your 3D preview over here. Anytime you change something on the design side, that will be reflected in the 3D preview on the right-hand side. Starting off, we've got our Easel project, which is untitled, so we'll go ahead and title it. Again, to title it, just click on where it said untitled or where the title is, and it'll allow you to title it. You can get back to any of your other Easel projects by clicking on this Pro icon here, and it'll bring you back to any of your other Easel projects. To the right of the Easel title, we've got Project dropdown, which allows you to make new projects, open old projects, make copies, import different file types, download either the G code for the project or an STL or SVG zip of the project, get a link to share your project or publish it to our Easel projects page. You can also access the edit menu, which allows you to do certain Easel design functions. The visual for this dropdown will change depending on if you have an object selected or not. Then we have our machine tab, which allows you to adjust certain machine functions as well as select your machine profile, edit certain things about your machine, look at some of the general settings for your machine, update the machine inspector to see if your homing switches are working or adjust any firmware settings. Also, you can set up a new machine or access the most recent drivers and processors for Easel. To the right of that, we have the Toolbox, which is where you can see your bits, materials, saved cut settings, and machine profiles. To the right of that, we have a help menu, which shows you how to access support, troubleshoot certain issues, share feedback with the team, access our community forum, access learning, check our video gallery, look at our project ideas, learn more about Easel, and then here at the top, you have the option to check what's new. This will allow you to see the most recent Easel features as they're being released. All the way over to the right-hand side of the screen, we have the ProCarve, which if your machine was plugged in and ready to go, that would be green. This is the button you click when you're ready to carve. To the right of that is a smaller button, which would also turn green if the machine was attached, and this is what allows us to jog our machine left, right, up, and down, all back and forth. Right below that is our material selection and dimensions, as well as our ability to enable tiling on projects. To the right of that is where we would select our bit for our project. You can click on this plus sign to add a second bit for two-stage carving, and then to the right of that are our cut settings. The feed rate, plunge rate, depth per pass, spindle speed, what fill method you're using, and then what plunge method you're using. And if you've got 2 bits like I do here, you'll see 2 sets of those numbers. Once again, we've got our 3D preview on this side. If I go ahead and change our cut here really quick, we can go ahead and see that changes here on the 3D preview. If I want to see what that toolpath movement is going to look like, I can click on Simulate and Play, and it'll play out the toolpath movement, and you can scan using this. You can also increase the cut speed if you're trying to watch it a little faster. You'll also have the option to click on these 3 buttons if you want to hide things like the material, so you're just looking at the toolpath, hide the toolpath, hide the wasteboard so you're not seeing that grid behind it, or you can click on product preview, and that'll give you a more kind of in-depth look at the project. If you hold shift and click on the outside, it will remove any material that's not part of the project, and you can just see what's getting carved out. If you hold shift again and click to the next of it, that material will return. When you're done with that project preview, you can click on exit, and it'll take you back so that the design side is dominating that space. You can zoom in and out and click to and hold to kind of move around. If you hold shift and click, you can move and scan up and down to kind of move up and down. So if you're trying to get closer in and it's not kind of going where you want, you can kind of scan down and move in closer. On the left-hand side, you can zoom in and out with the plus and minus button. You can scan up and down with your scroll wheel or using this scroll sidebar. If you want to scroll left and right, you can hold shift and use your scroll wheel to scroll left and right, or use this scroll thing at the bottom. You can also click on home, and that'll kind of center you back on your material and your project. You can also change from inches to millimeters here with this. So currently we're in inches, now we're in millimeters, and you can see that the grid numbers have changed to reflect millimeters instead of inches. I'll move back to inches. Below here is our workpieces for our test project. Currently there's just one. If I click on the chevron lines, that will hide that. You can click on the chevron lines again to open it up. And you can add a second workpiece to your project and move into that workpiece by clicking on this plus. Or if you say you want to make a duplicate of the project you already have, you can click on it and click duplicate, and that will duplicate it. And then finally, on the left-hand side, we have our toolbar. So these are the certain easel tools that are available. So you can add shapes, squares, circles, triangles, stars. Use the line tool to draw some lines or create a custom shape. The drill points feature, you can add text to easel using the text. If you're a pro user, you have access to the Easel Pro design library, so you can search for a design in there. We'll just do a quick one here. So now we can access those designs. We have our measurement tool, which allows us to click and drag to create measurements or see how far our measurement is. And then we have our easel apps, which are many and varied, but allow us to do things like generate inlays for projects or create a box or a puzzle design, very many different easel apps. And then our two import windows here at the bottom. So you can import a variety of different objects here, or if you're doing an STL file, you can click on that and it'll allow you to open an STL file. So that's just a little bit more about navigating easel. Have a wonderful day.
To learn more, head over to easel.com.